Did you know Richard Hammond has a secret garage packed with cars he doesn't even keep at home? Over the years, the small yet boisterous Brummie has given us some of the greatest automotive moments ever. But behind the scenes, he's been quietly building a collection of machines, some legendary, some forgotten, and some still waiting to be put back together. From pristine classics wrapped in car bubbles to projects that haven't moved in years, his secret lair is full of surprises. But which car does he treasure the most? And what hidden gem has been sitting untouched for over a decade? Stick around because the #1 car in his collection is truly something special. Kicking off our list at number 7, we've got a proper Hollywood legend, the 1968 Mustang 390 GT. Yep, the same model that Steve McQueen turned into an icon in Bullitt. And before you ask, no, this isn't some replica or tribute car. Hammond owns the real deal, a factory Highland Green fastback, just like the one that tore through San Francisco in one of the greatest car chases ever filmed. Under the hood, it originally came with a 390 cubic inch, 6.4-liter V8, pumping out 325 horsepower and a beastly 427 pound-feet of torque. Has it lost a bit of that power over the years? Probably. But does it still make all the right noises and send shivers down your spine? Absolutely. And here's the thing, Hammond isn't just a collector, he's emotionally attached to this car. He once said, "It's part of my life, part of the furniture of my life. It's also filthy right now." Classic Hammond. Even covered in dust, this Mustang is worth around 100,000 pounds today. But for him, it's priceless. Coming in at number 6, we've got a true British classic, the Jaguar XK150. And this isn't just any XK150, it's a proper racing machine with history baked into its metal. This very car competed in the 1959 Tollpen Rally, making it far more than just a showpiece. It's a piece of racing history. Now, let's talk numbers. Under the hood sits a 3.4-liter straight 6, churning out 250 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque. Not bad for a car from the late 50s, right? But here's the twist. This XK150 wasn't an S model originally. Hammond and his team at the smallest cog got their hands on it, gave it a full restoration, and, well, let's just say it came out looking even better than before. They even added the S badge, making it a proper high-performance version. But what really makes this car special? The way it looks. It still wears its factory dove gray paint, perfectly contrasting with the red leather interior. And when Hammond talks about this car, you can see it. He's absolutely smitten. Can you blame him? A machine like this, perfectly restored, sells for around 150,000 pounds today. But for Hammond, it's not about the price. It's about the passion. Taking the 5th spot on our list is a car that's not quite ready for the spotlight, Hammond's Jaguar XK150 project. Unlike the other beauties in his collection, this one is still in the works. Right now, it's covered in gray primer, not because it's some sleek factory shade, but because it hasn't even been painted yet. And if there's one thing that gets to Hammond, it's an unfinished car sitting in the garage. He even admits that looking at it makes him sad. But don't mistake this for an abandoned project. Far from it. Hammond has big plans for this XK150, and trust me, they sound absolutely wicked. He wants to drop it lower on black wire wheels, rip off the bumpers, tweak the engine with a hot cam, and fine-tune it into what he calls an angry state. Oh, and the final touch? A clean English white paint job. Basically, he's turning this elegant roadster into a full-fledged racer with attitude. And here's the best part. Once restored, XK120s fetch well over 100,000 pounds. But with this custom build, who knows? One thing's for sure, when Hammond finally gets this beast on the road, it's going to be an absolute showstopper. At number 4, we have a car that's, well, not exactly a car right now. Hammond's series I Land Rover is sitting in the corner of his garage, completely disassembled, looking more like an unsolved puzzle than an off-road legend. And according to him, it's been in this sorry state for over 12 years. Now, this Landy isn't just any old rust bucket. It actually has some Top Gear history. Hammond first drove it on the show 2 decades ago, and at some point, he decided it deserved a full restoration. The plan? Strip it down, rebuild it from the ground up, and turn it into a pristine example of an off-roading classic. The reality? It got stripped down, and then just kind of stayed that way. But here's the kicker. If he ever gets around to finishing it, a top condition series Y Land Rover can easily sell for 50,000 pounds. Not bad for a pile of parts, right? But will it ever get done? Well, it's currently parked next to another member of the Broken Dreams collection, a disassembled Peugeot pickup. So, let's just say, don't hold your breath. By the way, if you're enjoying this so far, why not hit that subscribe button? There's plenty more rare car collections and hidden gems like this to explore, and you won't want to miss what's next. Now, let's move on to number 3, because Hammond's got a forgotten American classic that needs some serious work. Taking the 3rd spot on our list is a car with some Grand Tour history, Hammond's Buick Riviera Boattail. If you've watched the Grand Tour, you might remember him driving this beauty through the Scottish Highlands. And, well, he loved it so much that he had to have it. The problem? Since arriving at his garage, it's been collecting dust, just waiting for some TLC. But Hammond isn't one to let a car sit forever. Armed with a tire compressor, a big battery pack, and a couple of cans of gas, he's been slowly coaxing it back to life. The big concern? That massive 7.5-liter V8. As much as he loves it, he knows it's a thirsty beast. And when he finally tries to fire it up, nothing. Just some stubborn coughing from the engine. But after a little easy start magic, it finally roars back to life. That unmistakable V8 burble filling the air. Now, this 1971 to 1973 Boattail Riviera had a polarizing design. Buick tried to jazz up the styling, but the American public didn't quite fall for it. So this body shape only lasted 3 years. But Hammond? He's always loved it. The Riviera still needs a lot of work, but he's determined to get it back on the road. Will he succeed? We'll have to wait and see. Rolling into the 2nd spot, we're stepping away from 4 wheels and into Hammond's 2-wheeled treasures. Tucked away in their own special little tent, a few legendary bikes sit quietly, each with its own story. Among them, a Ducati 916, a BMW R90S, and a Honda CB750. Absolute icons in the motorcycle world. But the real star of this lineup? A Harley-Davidson 883, and not just any 883. This one has a romantic backstory. Hammond bought it for his wife over 2 years ago, thinking it would be the perfect ride for her. And she loved it, or at least she said she did. The thing is, the bike has only 200 miles on the odometer. Yep, in 2 years, it's barely left the garage. Hammond even jokes about it, but deep down, you know he wishes it got a little more love. And taking the top spot on our list is a car with a bittersweet backstory. Hammond's 1972 MGB GT. This isn't just another classic British sports car, it's the last car he ever drove on Top Gear. You know, before everything changed. Funny enough, he'd never driven an MGB GT before that episode, but after getting behind the wheel, he fell in love. So much so that he couldn't let it go. But Hammond being Hammond, he didn't just want to own it, he had big plans. The goal? Turn it into a race car. Yep, this little British coupe is set to be fully restored and prepped for competition, serving as a rolling advertisement for his classic car restoration shop, The Smallest Cog. Right now though, it's far from race ready. It still needs a ton of work, but knowing Hammond, it's only a matter of time before it's ripping through corners on a track somewhere. And that wraps up his secret collection. But let's be honest, when it comes to true car lovers like Hammond, the real value of a collection isn't in the price tags. It's in the stories behind every machine. But now, let's settle this. If you could bring just one of these machines back to life and take it for a spin, which one would it be? The classic Bullitt Mustang? The unfinished Jaguar XK150 hot rod? Or maybe the Buick Riviera? Just to hear that V8 roar again? Drop your pick below. I want to know which one you'd choose. And hey, if you had fun going through these cars, hit that subscribe button. We've got more incredible collections, rare finds, and hidden gems coming your way. You won't want to miss it.